Before I start, if you love true, raw stories about love, betrayal, and life's unexpected twists, please subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your perspective because sometimes these stories hit closer to home than we expect. I was halfway across the country on a work trip when it happened. The hotel room was quiet except for the hum of the air conditioning, and my laptop screen cast a pale glow across my face. I had just started a video call with my wife, thinking it would be a brief check-in, the kind that reassures both of us we're still holding our lives together even when miles apart. She appeared on screen, smiling as she always did, a little tired but trying to seem cheerful. I smiled back, leaned closer, and waved. But then I saw it. My heart stuttered. The glint on her wrist, the watch. Not the one I'd given her for our anniversary. The one she loved and wore every day. A new one. Expensive, sleek, the kind I couldn't recognize. I laughed at first. Maybe it's a gift from a friend. Maybe she just bought it for herself, I reasoned. But the feeling in my gut refused to settle. Something was wrong. Over the next few days, that unease grew. Missed calls became more frequent. Messages appeared read but unanswered. Her explanations were flimsy. Late errands, surprise deliveries, visits from friends I hadn't met. I wanted to believe her, I really did. But every excuse, every forced smile over video, felt heavier than the last. One evening, I was reviewing my emails at the hotel when a notification popped up from her phone. She had sent me a text from a new number. I hesitated before opening it. It was mundane at first. Plans, errands, a casual thinking of you. But something in the phrasing, the casual intimacy, felt off. My mind began to twist over possibilities, over questions I didn't want to ask. By the fourth day, I could no longer ignore the signs. I called her again, this time with a heavy tone I tried to mask. "Hey, I saw the watch," I said, almost casually. Her laugh was too sharp, too quick. "Oh, that? It's nothing really. Just a gift. A gift." The word hung in the air between us, hollow. My instinct screamed at me. Something had shifted in her world without me, without our marriage. I arrived home a few days later with a mix of hope and dread. I wanted to trust her, to believe in the life we'd built. But my chest felt like it was constricted by invisible hands. That night, as we sat in the living room, I noticed it again. The watch, gleaming in the dim light of our lamp. I couldn't hold back anymore. "Who gave you that?" I asked, my voice low, controlled but trembling. Her eyes darted away. That pause, the one where she had no words ready, no explanation rehearsed, was worse than any confession. "It's someone from work," she finally said, almost whispering. I wanted to grab the truth from her, but I realized she was too caught in her own guilt, too tangled in her fear. So I stayed silent, watching the pieces fall into place. That night, every memory of her, every laugh, every touch, felt like it had been rewritten in my mind. Moments I had cherished suddenly seemed like part of a story I'd only been reading from the outside. Over the next week, I pieced together the truth, not from dramatic confrontations, but through subtle signs. Messages left open on her laptop, a name in her contacts that appeared far too often, receipts for dinners I hadn't been invited to. It wasn't cinematic. It wasn't a movie scene with a loud argument. It was quiet, and that made it sting all the more. The betrayal had been woven into the fabric of our everyday life, invisible until I noticed the threads unraveling. When I finally confronted her fully, tears in my eyes and a voice I barely recognized as my own, she admitted it. There was someone else. Someone she'd met months ago. Someone who had made her feel noticed in a way she claimed I hadn't. I could see the remorse, the shame, the fear in her eyes, but it didn't erase the hurt. I remember one moment clearly. She reached for my hand, and I pulled back. Not out of spite, but because my trust was broken, because I had to reclaim my sense of self. I didn't yell. I didn't storm out. I simply said, quietly but firmly, "I can't do this anymore." In the following months, we separated. There was grief, anger, confusion, and even moments where I questioned everything about myself. But there were also moments of clarity, small steps toward healing, rebuilding my life. rediscovering my worth outside of someone else's validation. That watch, shiny, beautiful, utterly meaningless now, became a symbol, not of her betrayal alone, but of the awakening it forced in me. I learned to recognize red flags, to trust my instincts, and to value the quiet dignity of self-respect over the pain of betrayal. I'll never forget seeing it glinting on her wrist over that video call. That single, seemingly small object shattered the life I thought I knew, but it also pushed me to rebuild, to remember that my strength was never defined by someone else's choices. If this story resonates with you, if you face betrayal, heartbreak, or the slow unraveling of trust, please share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. And don't forget to subscribe for more real, human stories about love, heartbreak, and the courage it takes to move forward.